Sports. We are the Fourth. We are Arizona.
It's Alumni Night here at Chase Field. Today we celebrate D-backs history. 20,000 Bob Brenly bobbleheads handed out to D-backs fans. The players today all decked out in the throwback purple and teal uniforms. That's a tremendous look. And following the game against the Rockies, it's our third annual alumni game featuring your favorite D-backs from days gone by. We're set for D-backs baseball, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies on Alumni Night here at Chase Field. Steve Berthium along the way. My partner Bob Brenly about to throw out our opening pitch.
Pitch is D-backs third base coach Glenn Sherlock.
Not many others left.
Well, a big night planned here at Chase Field for you as well on Fox Sports Arizona. Our alumni game roster, it's Gonzo's team versus Greg Swindell's team, and Team Gonzalez. Some pretty good players on this ball club, including Gonzo himself, Shea Hillenbrand, Travis Lee, Junior Spivey on that team, Rodrigo Lopez, one of the pitchers. Team Swindell, David DeLucci, Steve Finley, Reggie Sanders, Turner Ward, D-back sitting coach, along with Mike Morgan, Mike Fetters, and some of the pitchers, Russ Ortiz on Team Swindell. So we are set for a big night, Diamondbacks and Rockies alumni night, and the alumni game follows. So some of these old guys had to loosen up somewhere, and they were at Salt River earlier today. Brad has more on that when we come back. Football on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink.
And welcome back to Chase Field, where it is alumni night. All the greats from years past, including that 2001 World Series championship, back here at the Yard. They will play after the D-backs and Rockies get through taking care of business here on Fox Sports Arizona. Joined by one of the guys that made that 0-1 team go, Steve Finley. Always great to see the guys that were a part of that incredible run.
Yeah, we starting with the 10th anniversary back in 2011, and then the fantasy camps that a lot of us do together, and now this with the alumni game. So it's nice to get back together, and it's just like jumping back into a clubhouse again. And it's one of the things you kind of miss when you leave the game is that camaraderie.
And make no mistake, that competition is one thing you guys miss. You guys are going to get after it tonight.
We get after it as best as we can. It doesn't look, I mean, in our minds, we're going full speed, but it's probably going to look like we're playing an underwater baseball game. But we love it. I love to get out in front of the fans. I mean, there's not too many times, there's no other time really that you're going to get a chance to do that and get back out on the field except for these opportunities. So really appreciative of the Diamondbacks for giving us this opportunity and getting us back together and hopefully put on a good show for the fans.
And it's always great to see you have fun tonight and be safe. You're playing for Team Swindell, so you got to represent.
Absolutely. I mean, this is his first year being a manager, so we want to start him off on a good note.
And he said if it's a tie game, he may pitch, so we don't want to see that. Stick around. First pitch headed your way in just a little bit. Vidal Nuno looking for his first ever win with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has pitched well, but as of yet, has yet to rack up a W. Steve and Bob Brenly, it's his bobblehead night. They've got the call next on Fox Sports Arizona.
Generation of Diamondback players wearing one of the classic looks in franchise history as we celebrate D-backs history on Alumni Night at Chase Field. And my partner Bob Brenly just did a tremendous job with first pitch honors. Nicely done.
I just wanted to get it there in the air, and it was a very nice touch to have Glenn Sherlock receive that first pitch. As fans know, Glenn Sherlock, one of the originals. He survived every managerial change, ownership changes, uniform changes, and Glenn Sherlock, the connection to the very beginning here with the Diamondbacks.
And we are just about set for baseball. Game 2 of this 3-game set. The throwback unis in place and on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Their Arizona Ford starting pitcher, Vidal Nuno, his 10th start, and despite pitching well for the most part, extremely well at times, in fact, he is still searching for his first D-backs win. 4 no decisions in his last 5 starts.
Yeah, certainly through no fault of his own. He's pitched well enough to win a number of his starts as a member of the Diamondbacks. The key to Nuno is always to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate, spot that fastball, mix in the curve and straight changeup, but more than anything else, just stay out of the middle of the plate.
Trying to win uno for Nuno. Fidel Nuno with 3.54 ERA with the Diamondbacks, but 0-3 in 9 starts. 9 winless starts to begin his D-backs career, the most in franchise history, but he has deserved a much better fate, pitching very well as of late. Charlie Blackmon set to lead it off. Diamondbacks and Rockies on Alumni Night. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona. From downtown Phoenix, Blackmon 288 on the year, 15 home runs from the leadoff spot. There's strike one, says Paul Schreiber, our plate umpire tonight. Charlie Blackmon a single and an RBI in last night's series opener. Nuno's ahead 0-2. And now Jake Lamb, who was in on the grass at third, will back up and play behind the bag. What's it like for you to not only be wearing these colors, but to see them down on the field, having some flashbacks?
Yeah, especially the ice cream vendor hats. I was never a big fan of the white hats. I love the unis, love the color scheme, but the white hats, I don't know, a little too softballish for me.
No. Gives it a look, but it's just over the Diamondback dugout. They are certainly a signature, the trademark of the very early days here. Back then, when Buck Showalter was the manager, you could have, about a dozen different combinations.
There are all kinds of combinations between the vests and the longs or the regular sleeves that they're wearing tonight. Got an alternate black, an alternate purple at one point.
The purple and teal with the white caps tonight.
It seems kind of fitting. We're playing against the Rockies, the only other team in baseball to have purple in their color scheme.
Good start for Fidel Nuno. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Nolan Reimold making his Diamondback debut on Alumni Night. Throwback uniforms worn from 98 to 2006, purple, teal, and copper, all combined to represent the state of Arizona. The 1998 home uniforms, purple pinstripes, what you're looking at right now. Mark Trumbo at first base. Here's Drew Stubbs. Another strike one from Nuno.
And you mentioned Buck Showalter, and certainly you can't talk about the history of this organization without giving a huge tip of the cap to Buck and the job he did basically putting the baseball end of this operation together single-handedly. From the spring training facility down in Tucson to the ballpark here we now call Chase Field, to the uniforms, to the stationery, to the guidebook for the scouts and the representatives of the organization. Buck Showalter did an outstanding job, and unfortunately he can't be here because he's a little busy playing the Twins tonight.
Leading the American League East in Baltimore, sure. Well, Buck had 3 years to keep himself occupied, waiting for a baseball game to be played at then Bank One Ballpark, now Chase Field.
Now you give Buck 3 days to prepare for something, and he'll be ready. You give him 3 years, it's going to be outstanding when it starts, and that was the case with this organization. I'll tell you, that's nerve-wracking standing out there on the mound, especially when you haven't thrown a ball in anger in a long time.
You have that on your track record. We thought we might see a repeat. Schreiber rings up Stubbs. 2 strikeouts for Nuno to open up the ball game. Lineup for the Rockies tonight. Walt Weiss, the skipper. Slightly different look tonight against the left-hander Nuno.
Yeah, 2 up, 2 down against Nuno. Nolan Arenado making his way to the plate right now has been one of the hottest Rockies hitters this month. Corey Dickerson out in left field. Michael McHenry again behind the plate. Matt McBride getting a start at first base. Josh Rutledge at shortstop. DJ LeMahieu will once again play second base, and right-hander, or rather left-hander, Tyler Matzik on the mound for the Rockies.
So no Justin Morneau in the lineup. The left-hand hitter has the night off. And so Nolan Arenado will hit third. An RBI double last night to tie the ball game in the 7th inning off of Evan Marshall after Josh Colmenter came out, having thrown just 81 pitches. Colmenter at one point retired 18 straight Rockies last night. Arenado dunks that one into short left field for a 2-out single. Take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively behind Vidal Nuno.
Nolan Reimold making his first start as a member of the Diamondbacks out in left field. Ender Inciarte in center. David Peralta over in right field. The infield will be Jake Lamb at third, Cliff Pennington at short, Aaron Hill at second, and Mark Trumbo over at first base with Miguel Montero doing the catching for lefty Vidal Nuno.
And there is number 12, Nolan Reimold. His Diamondback debut, just acquired on waivers from the Toronto Blue Jays, longtime Baltimore Oriole. Corey Dickerson.
I was talking to Nolan down in the dugout before I threw the first pitch, mentioning the fact that I was a MAC guy too. He went to Bowling Green State University. I went to Ohio U, and he said he nearly went to Ohio U.
Couldn't get in?
You know, they're very selective.
I know they are.
Well, if you have a check, you can get in.
The Harvard of
on
Ohio.
Hocking. Harvard on the Hocking, we like to call it. The Hocking River runs right through the middle of campus.
Picturesque, I'm sure.
Oh, beautiful.
0-2. Dickerson 3-11, 20 homers. If he had enough plate appearances, he'd be tied with his teammate Justin Morneau for the National League batting title. Getting his chance to play nearly every day this year with all the injuries they've had. He needs to average about 4 plate appearances a game for the rest of the year to qualify for the batting title. He's got a shot at it.
Well, watching him take batting practice today earlier this afternoon, he looked like he was trying to get the home run title. I mean, he was hitting balls over the RamTrucks.com pool area, up on the deck, out in straightaway center field. He was putting on quite a show.
He was 0 for 4 last night. This is a lefty that does hit lefties, however. And Vidal Nuno gets 3 strikeouts in the first. Rams the 2-out single. We are underway on Alumni Night here at Chase Field. To be sure in the Legends Suite between Team Gonzalez and Team Swindell, but there does appear to be some fraternization going on between the two sides.
The way this afternoon has gone, I think they better get security up there just in case. The smack talking going on up there. Some very competitive guys. Looking forward to this alumni game as soon as the Diamondbacks get done winning a ball game.
And so if you're home watching this, you still have time to get down to Chase Field. No TV on the alumni game. You have to be here to see it. We hope to see you down here this afternoon. On the mound for the Colorado Rockies, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher is 23-year-old rookie left-hander Tyler Matzek, his 15th big league start. D-backs faced Matzik here at Chase Field earlier this month and beat him 5-3. Ender Inciarte leads it off.
We see a fastball, slider, changeup combination. He also has a curveball that he'll use sparingly, but when he gets in trouble, he really likes to go to that slider, righties and lefties.
Matzik, a first-round pick by the Rockies in the 2009 draft out of Capistrano High School in Mission Viejo, California. His 6th start in August. He lost his first 4, but beat the Giants at AT&T Park his last time out earlier this week. McBride takes that by himself. Inciarte is retired. This is the lineup for Kirk Gibson's D-backs on alumni night at Chase Field.
We've seen that uniform in the number 5, Ender Inciarte. I had a flashback to Tony Womack there. Ender at the top, Cliff Pennington batting second, David Peralta hitting third, Mark Trumbo cleaning up at first base, Miguel Montero doing the catching, Aaron Hill at second base. What a night for Jake Lamb last night, his first career grand slam. Nolan Raimonda, as we mentioned, getting his first start for the D-backs out in left field, and Vidal Nuno on the mound.
The Grand Lamb, as it was known around here last night. Jake Lamb had the big hit. His second major league homer, first career grand slam. What a night. Cliff Pennington 0-1. Getting the start at shortstop today. Didi Gregorius sitting against the left-hander. Cliff was at second base last night. He walked 3 times in the ball game. 264 on the year.
And we gave you this particular stat last night. The Colorado Rockies have used more starting pitchers than any team in the majors this year. I think we could use this card every season about this time of year. Just change the numbers. 15 different starting pitchers for the Rockies this year.
Yeah, right now they're without Brett Anderson, Yoli Chacin, Tyler Chatwood all injured. Walt Weiss has had to piece together a rotation somewhere. Kirk Gibson knows from that certainly. But the Rockies reeling right now. They've lost 4 in a row. 53 and 81 on the year. 22.5 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. They opened up a 7-game road trip with a win at San Francisco. Matzik was the starting pitcher in that ball game. But they lost the next 3 at AT&T Park and lost last night's series opener here at Chase. He's off the high one for Matzik. It's full, 3-2. A 1-out walk. Pennington's aboard. Cliff had 3 walks in the ball game last night. And a base on balls to open up the game tonight.
And another flashback. A number 4 batting second. Craig Counsell used to hit second an awful lot for me when I was managing this team. So we've had Womack number 5 leading off. Counsell number 4 batting second.
What do you got for number 6?
I don't even remember who wore 6.
Peralta 297 homers, on base twice last night.
I think Stephen Drew used to wear 6, but I didn't get the opportunity to manage Stephen.
David, his 8th triple of the year in the 6th inning last night, scored the game's first run. And then walked and scored in the 8th, came in on the Lamb slam. Carves this one high in the air to short left, Corey Dickerson.
The only number 6 I can remember having was Jason Conti, who's here to play in the alumni game today.
Trumbo 15, that number worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I like that number. Yeah, Cindy asked me before we went on the air for the pregame show how I ended up with number 15, and like a lot of guys, it was just hanging in my locker when I got there.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Ivey had been released recently by the Giants. He formerly wore number 15. When I got called up to the major leagues, the number was available. They gave it to me, and I loved it.
Worked out pretty well, I'd say. Mark Trumbo, Pennington the runner at first, 2 down. There goes Pennington off of the first pitch. And McHenry's throw is nowhere near the bag. Stolen base for Cliff Pennington, his 6th of the year.
Catcher's had all kinds of throwing issues this year. 4 out of 33 on the season in stolen base attempts. Penny had a great jump over there at first base. Even a perfect throw, however, was not going to get it. Keep that thumb out of the way.
Already missed 54 games because of a broken thumb earlier this year and has played very well since coming off the DL. A 1-0 count to Trumbo. Mark Trumbo on base 3 times last night, including a pair of walks. Mark, after missing 3 months with a broken foot, has not seen a ton of left-hand pitching this year. Does have 4 homers off of lefties. And Matzik is behind 3-0.
Slider on the 2-0 delivery to Trumbo right there tells you that he doesn't really care if he walks the Diamondbacks cleanup hitter with first base open. Got a left-handed hitter in the on-deck circle.
Miguel Montero. Two walks in the inning from Matzik. He will lose the handle occasionally with his command. He can get a little sloppy out there. He's walked 32 batters in 84 innings this year. He's walked 3 or more in a game 5 times in 14 starts. Miguel Montero has seen Matzik before. We mentioned the Diamondbacks beat Matzik here at Chase Field earlier this month. And Miggy got him.
Three-run homer in the first inning. Matzik went on to throw 4 innings of shutout ball after that, but the Diamondbacks jumped him early. Have an opportunity to do that again here today.
256, 13 home runs for the D-backs catcher. 2 on and 2 outs.
Another D-backs catcher used to wear 26, Damian Miller. Symmetry. It's all coming together. Damian never hit as high as 5th, though.
Well, that was your fault. Miggy 0 for 3 last night. He walked and struck out twice. Diamondback batters walked 8 times in the ball game last night. It's a good look. The purple batting helmets look great.
I'm glad to hear that the players enjoy wearing the purple at least one day a year. But one thing is the batting helmets. You know, guys, we've seen pine tar all over them and, you know, logos falling off. And after wearing a helmet all year long, it starts to fit your head. Well, these are brand new helmets today.
Easy play for Drew Stubbs in center, and Matzik strands 2. We are through 1-0 score on Alumni Night at Chase.
It's time for the track 25 minutes of our
fans, check your calendars. 2 weeks from tonight, Paul Goldschmidt bobblehead night here at Chase Field. Saturday, September 13th, the D-backs and the Padres. We got 25,000 of these bad boys to hand out to you, courtesy of Chevrolet. For tickets, visit dbacks.com today. The Goldie Bobble coming up September 13th. That's 2 weeks from tonight. 20,000 Bob Brenly bobbleheads handed out this evening here at Chase Field, courtesy of our friends at Sanderson Ford. Mike McHenry leads off the Rockies second against Vidal Nuno, who had 3 strikeouts in the first. Bob's the best.
The best.
Well, we think so. The D with a snake and the whole thing. Nice work.
It didn't take me long to make that. I passed out 20,000 signs.
I will say, you told Cindy this before the ball game. This is a great bobblehead. I mean, these things can go all kinds of different directions and just veer off course. But this is a terrific looking bobblehead, though.
I like it. Like Cindy said, all it needs is a slice of pizza and a fishing pole on it somewhere, and it'd be a true likeness.
This is my own personal BB bobblehead up here in our booth right there. Good look at it.
See those vertical pinstripes, very slimming.
Slimming, it's nice, yeah. Mike McHenry 0 for 3 last night, couple of strikeouts. At 309 on the year, but he is just 2 for his last 21. The catcher these days with Willeen Rosario on the DL. He's got that left wrist inflammation that has plagued him all year long. Just went back on the DL Wednesday. Unusual that you would have the only 2 teams in the majors with purple in the same division. Rockies wear black a lot. Always some purple around the ballpark here. There's called strike 3. 4 strikeouts for El Nuno, which is Spanish for the Nuno.
First baseman, number 7.
We talked about it very early on. Fastball location. If he has that fastball location, he's able to spot it on both sides of the plate, keep it out of the middle, keep it down. He can be very effective. He just locked up a pretty good hitter in Mike McHenry with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside corner.
Well, Bud Black, after Nuno was dazzling against the Padres his last time out, said, look, this guy just got a sneaky fastball and a decent breaking ball and changeup. And if he's locating, that's enough. Matt McBride fouls that one behind the Rockies dugout.
We saw that from the Rockies starter last night. Bergman was throwing in the mid to upper 80s when he had a little bit of a tailwind and was throwing fastballs right by the Diamondbacks hitters all night long.
There's Christian Bergman. Did not give up a base hit last night until Josh Colmenter double with 2 outs in the 5th. Matt McBride gives this one a ride, and that ball is gone. A home run. Matt McBride, his second. 1-0 Rockies. Matt McBride just called up about 10 days ago. His second appearance in the big leagues at the age of 29. Last week, his first career grand slam. And he gets a hold of a hanger here in the second.
You hang him, we bang him. I mean, that's a curveball that just fluttered up there belt high right over the middle of the plate. And McBride's a guy with some pop in his bat. He came over in the trade with the Cleveland Indians for Ubaldo Jimenez. Had some big home run seasons in the minor leagues. And put a charge on that one.
He did not play in the major leagues last year, Matt McBride. He's been through some horrible injuries. As much as Nolan Reimold has been through, but just about the same issues. Herniated disc pushing up on his spinal cord, so had to have that spinal fusion surgery that Reimold has had twice. Rutledge 252 and 3 homers. He was 1 for 3 with a single last night, scored a run. Nuno throwing strikes, 22 of his 30 pitches so far for strikes. Out into center field, Ender Inciarte broke back, now comes in, and that's the second out. Brings up DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman.
Second baseman, number 9, DJ LeMahieu.
LeMahieu, 265, 4 homers. He's hit in 6 of his last 7 games. 1 for 3 last night. D-backs have not scored any runs for Vidal Nuno this year. Just 27 runs in his 9 starts, but 6 of those runs came in his last 2 starts after he'd already left the ball game. And now he's down 1-0. Kirk Gibson says that Nuno has thrown the ball really well. When he came over to the D-backs from the Yankees, Gibby says, well, he got a little out of sorts with his mechanics, but he has made some corrections there. He's, as of late, thrown the ball very well.
So far, he's had the good command of the fastball. He did hang that breaking ball. That's something to keep an eye on. Maybe you put that curveball in your back pocket until an inning or 2 down the road. Maybe go more to the straight changeup if you're having trouble commanding that curveball. Don't want to make those kind of mistakes to guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Trying to steal the strike 3 with that sneaky fastball inside, but didn't get the call from Paul Schreiber, and it's 2-2. Three balls and 2 strikes to DJ LeMahieu. Pitcher Tyler Matzik would be next. Called strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Vidal Nuno. 2 more in this inning, but Matt McBride's second homer of the year has given the Rockies a 1-0 lead. By Chevrolet. Find great offers at the Chevy Labor Day sale going on now. Find new roads at your local Valley Chevy dealer. And by Chase Bank. Chase brings you the Chase the Moment sweepstakes. Tweet hashtag Chase the Moment and tell us your favorite D-backs moment for a chance to win one-of-a-kind Chase Field experiences. Same logo, old color scheme on Alumni Night at Chase Field. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly back with you as Aaron Hill leads off the second against Tyler Matzik. Hill, Lamb, Reimold, 6, 7, and 8 in the Arizona second. Matt McBride, a solo homer, has made it 1-0 Colorado. So far, Vidal Nuno has struck out 5 of the 8 he's faced, but trails it 1-0. Aaron Hill hitting 174 in August. Only 2 extra base hits all month. Been a difficult offensive season for Aaron. Trying to get it going again here as we get into Labor Day weekend. Gives that one a ride. Near the wall in left, but Dickerson has room. Not under it, just a smidge.
A good trajectory off the bat, just didn't get the kind of carry necessary to get it out of here, but he does chase Dickerson all the way to the wall out there in left field. A little breaking ball working its way inside. Aaron ambushed it, hit it well, just not well enough.
One away for last night's home run hero. Rookie Jake Lamb, the Lamb Slam, or the Grand Lamb as they're now calling it. Dennis Lamb like that one. Thumbs up. Yeah, Lamb's working all over the ballpark. The big hit in last night's ball game, the 2-out 8th inning grand slam. 1-1. Jake has now hit safely in 4 of his last 5 games. And like David Peralta, good chance for Jake Lamb today to get some experience against left-hand pitching. Jake only 10 at-bats versus lefties in the big league so far. 1 hit. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Matzik. 2 down. And now the Diamondback debut of right-hand hitting Nolan Reimold.
12, Nolan Reimold.
D-backs awarded a waiver claim on Nolan Reimold just a few days after he was designated for assignment by the Blue Jays following 5 years with the Orioles. They put him on waivers the first week of July. And he smacks that one into left. First pitch he sees as a D-back is a base hit. Nolan Reimold, welcome to Arizona.
He likes it here. Every time he swings the bat, he gets a base hit.
Batting 1,000.
He had a nice batting practice session earlier today in preparation for his first start here tonight, and promptly jumps on the first delivery and rips a line drive into left field.
He has always had some nice pop from that right-hand side, but he's been through just horrible injuries the last 3 years, including 2 neck surgeries, but now healthy, and the Diamondbacks may have found a diamond in the rough here. Scanning the waiver wire, somebody who could be in the mix for next season. Vidal Nuno, last time out, had his first big league hit. Orioles wanted to keep Nolan Reimold, but just didn't have room for him on their roster. He'd run through his minor league rehab assignment time because of all his serious injury issues. Not able to get him through waivers. Toronto claimed him. He was there less than a month, and now the Diamondbacks picked him up.
Wearing number 54, and on Alumni Night, we should point out 54 was formerly worn by Troy Brohan, one of the unsung members of that 01 team. Barry Bonds that season was either 0 for 13 or 0 for 15 against Troy Brohan.
The secret weapon.
He was the secret weapon. We had a lot of lefties in the National League West that year, and You needed to have at least one, preferably two lefties in the bullpen. And with Troy Brohan and Greg Swindell, they did a nice job of neutralizing some of those left-handed bats in our division.
Nuno waves at that one. Second strikeout for Matzik, who strands the 2-out single. Speaking of Greg Swindell, CenturyLink, your link to what's next. We'll talk to one of the team captains for our alumni night game coming up after the ball game. Greg Swindell is next with Brad.
Legend Suite, and I'm joined by a legend, my good friend Greg Swindell, who is the manager of one of the teams tonight. We saw a little video there. You look pretty serious earlier today at BP. How is your squad shaping up?
Oh, they're shaping up well. The top of our lineup is stacked. So if you get us early, you might have a chance, but watch out for the top.
So you put some thought into this.
Oh, yeah, myself and Jeff Swanson, who's putting all this together for the alumni. Yeah, oh, no, we're serious about it. You want to go out and perform well, and you want to win.
Yeah. Getting together with all these guys must be a kick because that was such a great year and a great group of guys in 01.
Yeah, it always is. And also the guys that you didn't play with, guys that played here after us and things like that, to meet them and see what they're doing in their lives right now. It's a great time for everyone.
And, you know, your skipper's up in the booth right now. It's his bobblehead night. Did you see one of those at all?
I got one. I got a bobble one. Oh, yeah.
What was he like to play for? Because he put together just a great group of guys. That locker room really policed itself.
It did, and that BB was good at that. I mean, Bob Brenly let the players not take over the locker room, but he knew when it was time to say something and when it wasn't. And that was the thing. We had a veteran team. He came in when he needed to and stayed away, and he did a great job. Obviously, we won the World Series.
Now, earlier today on the pregame show, you said if the game were to go to a tie, if it were tied at the end, that you would actually come in and pitch in the game. Are you still holding true to that?
I am, and it gets as inning by inning goes in this game, I might go 9 before it's over with.
Great to see Zeke back in town. Obviously, Bob, as you mentioned, a big part of that pin in 01. Guys, back to you.
Let me tell you, I can speak for my partner here. If this goes 9, he will fine Greg Swindell.
Hold him to it. Yeah, I'd like to see him. He said last year he threw. It took him a week to get recovered.
We don't go extras in this game. We don't go extra innings.
I tell you what, he's not fooling around, though. You're right, Brad. His lineup, I'm looking at the lineup right now. It's stacked. Ojeda, DeLucci, Finley, Sanders, Durazo, Ward. How about that catch by El Nino? Good guys in the white hats tonight.
Good reaction out there by Nuno. That ball came right back at him. Gets that glove up in the air quickly to snare that ball, keep it out of center field. I don't believe either middle infielder would have had a chance to make a play right there. Nicely done.
Blackman just scolded that one. 2 down for Stubbs. Now, as commissioner of the alumni game, you're supposed to be neutral, right?
Yeah.
Can your influence be bought, perhaps?
Absolutely.
Cliff Pennington up and over. Nolan Reimold. Let's make sure everybody's okay. Everybody appears to be fine. The D-backs shortstop taking a page out of the Didi Gregorius book and roaming way out there to left field, right in front, and then over Reimold. So some defensive gems for the D-backs in that third. They trail it 1-0. Mobile device and visit your local Circle K for details. For the purchase of a 20-ounce Pepsi, you can win tickets to Super Bowl 49 in Arizona this February. Great defensive plays by the D-backs in the top of the third, and now Ender Inciarte leads off the home half. Diamondbacks trail the Rockies 1-0. Matt McBride, a solo homer in the second, his second of the year.
A lot of things to learn when you come to a new team, and Nolan Reimold very quickly learning the range of his shortstop Cliff Pennington. You get to learn the guys that play beside you and in front of you and what kind of range they have, which balls will they chase, which will they let go, and fortunately nobody hurt. Nice play by Cliff Pennington.
Well, Ender tried to butcher boy that one, showed bunt and then tried to slap it the other way. This was the play that ended the top of the third. Penny calling for it, but a little too late for Reimold to stop.
Looked like everybody was able to protect themselves and avoid any kind of serious injuries.
Ender grounded out his first time up. 0 for 3 with a walk last night. That snapped a 4-game hit streak. Throws bunt again.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
3 balls and a strike. Well, he is awfully fidgety up there. More and more he is taking that, not just the role, but almost the identity of that leadoff spot. Showing bunt, slapping the ball the other way. Messing with the minds of the opposing defense.
And extending at bats, getting to a 2-strike count and then finding a way to foul off pitches and stay alive in the at bat until he gets something he can handle.
Another aspect to Ender's game that'll serve him well in the leadoff spot, and that's that he can hit left-hand pitching. He's hitting a very respectable .274 against lefties this year, with a .330 on base percentage. And you might remember when Gerardo Parra was in the leadoff spot, you'd have to drop him down in the order against a left-hand starter. That's not the case for Ender Inciarte. Ender hitting about .300 since the All-Star break, already an 8-pitch at bat. On base percentage, the second half of the season, just under 350. There's the average against left-handers this year.
Speaking of tacos, partner, only once this month have we had tacos. D-backs put a 14 spot on the board against the Rockies on August 9th.
It's our month allotment right there in one game. And they're in Ciarte. Big league at bat here to lead off the third. Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Slow roller up the first base line. Easy play for McBride, but he's got to hurry. And Ciarte busting it up the line, made it awfully close. Yeah, we'll see if we go into a stall here. Put the four corners offense in effect to give Alan Campbell in the video room a chance to have a look.
Very close, and that's not a normal play for a first base umpire because both guys are moving. Generally, the first baseman is just standing there with a foot on the bag waiting to catch the throw, but that time you had both the defender and the runner stretching for the base.
Very good call by Alfonso Marquez down there at first. One away for Cliff Pennington. Penny walked and stole a base his first time. Pennington a switch hitter for his career. Pretty close. But this year he has been better from the right hand side, hitting nearly 300 this year versus left hand pitching. A small ball mentality from the top of this Diamondback order. Seen a lot of guys. Ciarte, Pennington up there showing bunt. There's the splits on Penny. 294 is a right-hand hitter this year. McBride is there again, keeping him busy down there. 2 outs in the third.
I kind of like that move. 2-0, if you know you're going to take the pitch, as you see Cliff Pennington hit a hard ground ball right to McBride at first base. If you know you're going to take that 2-0 pitch, and you show bunt knowing you're going to take the pitch, it forces the defense to react. They don't know that you're just faking that bunt. They've got to charge in, maybe play a step or two more shallow, and then it gives you the opportunity to hit the ball by them. Even for guys that don't normally bunt for a base hit, just show it.
Strike one to David Peralta, who flying out his first time. Up the middle, DJ LeMahieu. Peralta beats the throw. Tough throw for LeMahieu, moving away from the first base bag. Had to throw kind of sidearm across his body that time.
Yeah, you're right. That was a nice play just to get to the ball, but then his throw across his own body pulls the first baseman McBride off the bag ever so slightly, allowing Peralta to reach.
Mayhew still found a way to make it pretty close. 2-out runner at first for Mark Trumbo, who walked his first time up. Still waiting for that 500-foot homer. It's coming. 17 games ago his last home run against these Rockies, August 9th. Came off a lefty, Jorge De La Rosa. There's a strike, 0-1.
His first at bat back in that first inning, Rockies had first base open, and Matzik just didn't appear like he was interested at all in pitching to Mark Trumbo. Walked him very quickly, and then got Miguel Montero to fly out to center to end the inning.
And see, he's still got that golf club basically grip on that bat instead of tape, it looks like. Jam shot pop up behind the bag at second. Easy play for Stubbs. They strand the 2-out single through 3. Diamondbacks trail it 1-0. Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores is headed to a D-backs game. Coming up next month, September 14th or the 28th, you can get on board by stopping by this month's participating Cox retail store in Tolleson or the Fry's Food Store in Flagstaff. You can enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus to and from the game, either the 14th or the 28th. All the info you need is at foxsportsarizona.com. Del Nuno so far 5 strikeouts. He's given up only 2 hits. One of them, Matt McBride's second home run this year, a solo shot. And so it's 1-0 Rockies as we open the 4th with Arenado, Dickerson, and McHenry 3, 4, and 5 for Colorado. Nolan Arenado a single his first time up. It's a guy hitting almost .330 versus left-hand pitching this year, including 6 homers, bidding for a 7th. It's that a mile up in the air, but foul. Nolan Arenado, National League Player of the Week last week, having a big second half of the season, hitting about .320 with 8 home runs since the All-Star break.
And describing a major league hitter, a good major league hitter, I've heard hitting coaches talk about guys that are willing to stick their nose in there. Now, if you want to know what that means, watch Nolan Arenado's at bat. He's a little bit off the plate, but as that ball is delivered, his upper body, his stride, everything takes him right down toward the strike zone. Now, he will occasionally get jammed because of that approach, but good hitters tend to get jammed a lot. And Nolan Arenado's a good hitter.
Why is that?
Just because of the approach. You want to cover the plate, you have to be aware of that outside corner and be able to cover that, and occasionally good pitchers are going to run one in on your hands and jam you. There's an old saying, bad hitters never get jammed because everything's flying open. They're looking to pull the ball to their pull field. The front shoulder flies open, the front hip flies open, they step down the line a little bit. They never get jammed.
6 in a row retired by Nuno since the McBride homer. Here's Corey Dickerson, who struck out his first time. Just saw Arenado, who was National League Player of the Week last week. Dickerson was National League Player of the Week the week before. And right there, neck and neck with Justin Morneau in terms of leading the league in batting average, but looking for enough plate appearances to qualify. Hard hit on a hop to Pennington at short. 2 down.
Catcher, Michael.
Brings up the fort, Mike McHenry. He is throwing strikes out there. 54 pitches in the ball game, 42 for strikes. And strike one to nearly every hitter tonight. McHenry struck out looking his first time up. Mike McHenry for much of this year was up and down from AAA Colorado Springs, where he started the year. Jordan Pacheco, now with the D-backs, opened the season as the Rockies' backup catcher. And McHenry was in the minor leagues, the former Pittsburgh Pirate. Didn't get up to the big leagues until the beginning of May and went back down, played in just a handful of games, but became the backup in Colorado when Pacheco was waived right after the beginning of June. Now he's with the D-backs. And McHenry is starting with Rosario on the DL. And he's done a good job for the Rockies this year. 3 major league seasons as a backup in Pittsburgh. Was a .226 hitter during his time with the Pirates. But he's over 300 with 5 homers this year in Colorado. From Middle Tennessee State, he's a Blue Raider. Hold on there, Fort. 3-2. Paul Schreiber says strike 2.
That slider straight off that inside corner a little bit, but Paul Schreiber gives Nuno a little extra room on that side, at least on that pitch.
Shot to Lamb at third, has to come in and makes a nice accurate throw. 8 in a row set down by Nuno. Jake Lamb had a real good series so far. The big hit last night, a nice defensive play there for the rookie third baseman. D-backs trail at 1-0.
They look like the Beer League or the Bad News Bears, something like that. Yeah, it's just those old guys, you know. They watch a game on the TV and they've been out for quite a while, and they forget how hard the game is until they go out there and play like today.
And that's our Geico quote of the game from Miguel Montero, who steps to the plate right now. And guys, let me tell you, on the pregame show, when Brandon Webb heard that about Beer League, guys, he kind of took it as bulletin board material for tonight's game, and trying to prove that those guys can still play. And so we'll see tonight. I know Cindy Brunson, she talked to Miguel, and she said, Miguel, someday you'll be an alum. So
well, I can tell you what, Jody, from the look some of the interviews up there, it looks like the Beer League is already underway. Having a good time up there in the Legend Suite. And a reminder, you'll have some highlights from the alumni game. There's no TV for the alumni game. You have to be here at the ballpark. But we will put together a highlight package for you that you'll be able to check out online. Greg Schulte and I will handle the broadcast duties. Commissioner Brenly is otherwise engaged.
I'm thinking about suspending a few guys.
What's the issue?
It doesn't matter. If somebody comes to me and says, I've got big money bet on Team Swindell or Team Gonzo, I can make that happen.
We have to maintain the integrity of these alumni games.
No.
All right. Make the check payable to Bob Brenly. No E on the end of that. 2-1 to Miguel Montero.
Hey, I got news for Miggy. He better start playing another position at some point here on the tail end of his career over the next 5 or 6 or 10 years, whatever it turns out to be, because when you come back for alumni games and all you've ever done is catch,
guess what you're going to do?
That's right. Strap it on.
You got to kneel down there. Well, while you were on vacation, Gonzo started a campaign to have Miggy play first base. Kind of like Buster Posey. Nobody up here agreed with him, but what do you think?
I don't know. Gonzo has some outside the box ideas from time to time, and I think this is one of them.
Gonzo working the radio side. Tom Candiotti has the weekend off. Right to LeMahieu at second. Team Gonzalez and Team Swindell after the ball game are 3-inning alumni. Well, you mentioned Miguel Montero. It's interesting. Bullpen catcher Mark Reed is apparently the only guy that we could find that can still catch, because Reeder is going to catch both sides and not hit in the game. So he's kind of like
Reed, yeah.
Designated quarterback, as he used to have in the old touch football days.
Amen.
He's designated catcher.
Gotta have it.
Reeder's out there somewhere preparing. It'll be a long night for him. Aaron Hill flying out his first time. And so Mark Reed will be the catcher for both teams, Team Swindell and Team Gonzalez. Both pitching staffs are pretty deep. There's a sky-high pop-up, and Mayhew gives it a look at second base.
Better be deep.
I mean, Team Gonzo, Rodrigo Lopez, Eddie Oropesa, Armando Reynoso, Doug Davis, Elmer Descends, and Stephen Randolph. Team Swindell, and I'm not counting the manager, Greg Swindell, Mike Morgan, Mike Fetters, Brett Prinz, Joel Adamson, Russ Ortiz, and Scott Breaux.
Well, Mike Morgan could probably give him 6 or 7 innings tonight and come back and start tomorrow if you ask him to.
Bring in Breaux for the save. That'd work out. Jake Lamb struck out his first time. I'm told that the starting pitchers each inning will go 2/3 of an inning. A reliever will go 1/3 of an inning. And we'll keep them coming. Slow roller to second. Matzik works an easy 1, 2, 3, 4th, and through 4. He leads it 1-0. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
In the Legend Suite with Junior Spivey, whose rookie season, good timing, was in 2001. Tell me about that team, your memories of that year.
It was an unbelievable year, unbelievable team, great group of guys. You know, that's what I remember most, just a really good team and a really good group of guys.
You were an all-star the next year, so when you look back at your D-backs career, what stands out the most?
The most, I would say, that 2001 season. It was a magical season. It was a special year for me. It was my rookie year, and I was able to come up and give the team a little spark plug, so to speak, and that was my opportunity. So, you know, to win it that year was unbelievable, and the way we won it, you know, you can never forget it.
Yeah. You're on Team Gonzo tonight. So at what point in time during this game do you start the juices flowing? Do you leave to go down to get suited up and get ready to do some battle tonight?
I guess it's when we leave here. When we walk out of here and we start heading down to the locker room, you start feeling the butterflies start to kick in a little bit, a little anxiety. That's when it starts. But, you know, we miss it. I mean, all these guys, we miss it. We wish we could still do it and wish we could still play. So we always look forward to coming back and playing in this game and you know, putting on the show for the fans.
You took BP earlier today. Did you have it?
No, I didn't have it. I haven't picked up a bat since the last time we played. It was pretty bad. It was terrible. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Webby's on the phone. Looks like he might be making a trade. But, hey, Junior, great to see you, and we'll see you after the game right here live on Fox Sports Arizona.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, back to you.
One of your favorites, BB, I know, Junior Spivey.
Boy, he got after it every day like it was the last day of his career, and he still approaches it. Even the alumni game, he approaches it the same way. He absolutely owned Greg Maddux.
That's not easy to do.
No, it isn't. I mean, at the beginning of his career, I don't remember the exact numbers. He was 6 for 8 or 8 for 10 or some ridiculous thing, and as veteran Hall of Fame bound pitchers are wont to do, Maddux decided that maybe the best plan of attack was to throw one where Junior couldn't hit it, which was right between the numbers.
Plunked him, huh?
He plunked him.
Just out of frustration?
Yeah, you know, and I was a little upset in the post-game interview. I said, here's a guy, you know, he can knock a mosquito out of the air with an 88-mile-an-hour sinker, and he hits a guy right in the middle of a back door. I think it was intentional. Of course it was.
It's a badge of honor. Maddux frustrates you to the point you just throws it between your number.
I give up.
Second baseman
DJ LeMahieu. Junior Spivey up with the rest of the legends. Junior Spivey on Team Gonzo hitting second tonight and playing second base. DJ LeMahieu, Rockies second baseman.
Somebody needs to ask Gonzo if he looked into the advanced metrics when he made up his lineup. You know, on base percentage, guys at the top, some speed at the top, and
he's going with Cintron, Spivey, Gonzo's put himself hitting third.
What?
Yeah. Cintron, Spivey, Gonzo, Hillenbrand, Lee. Yeah, I don't know about this team. I think Team Swindell has a big advantage.
Cintron. Well, that's why we play the games, right? You don't play them on paper. You got to get out there on the field. Some of these guys might not make it through 3 innings.
Nuno at 70 pitches, 51 for strikes. Here's Team Gonzo. So as you look at this with your managerial eye, what do you like about it? What concerns you?
The overall health of this group, and especially after a long afternoon up there in the Legends Suite.
These guys were down there at Salt River hitting all morning, and now they're here socializing all evening. Peralta makes a nice running catch in foul ground. That's 11 in a row. Retired by Vidal Nuno, but he trails it 1-0. 1-0. Fans, now's the time. Tweet us your fan photo with the Twitter and the hashtag and the whole thing, AZFanPhoto, for your chance to have your fan photo shown later in our game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Nolan Reimold, who knocked a single to left on the first pitch he saw as a D-back, will lead off the fifth against Tyler Matzik, who so far has given up only 2 hits, a pair of singles, and leads it 1-0. Matt McBride, a solo shot in the second, the game's only run so far. That's coming off a win at AT&T Park over the Giants his last time out. Looking good again here. Matzik, 23-year-old rookie, does a lot of it just getting comfortable at this level, starting to get the feel of things, he says. The nerves are starting to go away, starting to settle in and figure out what's needed to be successful out there. And he opened up the month of August 2-5. And in his first start this month, got pounded at Detroit, gave up 8 runs, all earned on 10 hits in only 4 innings. And then the D-backs beat him here at Chase Field in his next start. But he's been a little better since, including a win his last time out. Says he is learning his strengths and sticking with them, how to attack different hitters, stuff like that. Reimold not able to hold up, and he strikes out. Third strikeout for Matzik, 1 down.
I think one of those discoveries for Matzik was realizing that his slider is a really good pitch for him. He commands it on both sides of the plate. It's equally effective against right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters, and he's thrown it a lot more as the season has progressed.
First round pick by the Rockies in the 2009 draft, the 11th overall selection in that draft out of Capistrano Valley High School in Mission Viejo, California. Facing another native Californian, Vidal Nuno. 11th overall in the first round of that draft. So Matzik was selected 6 spots ahead of A.J. Pollock. Nuno hits that one right to Rutledge at short. 2 down. Matzik also drafted 14 spots before the Angels took an outfielder out of Millville High School in New Jersey named Mike Trout.
Who?
So drafted well ahead of Trout. Tyler Matzik. Began this season in Colorado Springs, his first year in AAA. Spent all of last year with the AA Tulsa Drillers. So he's advanced 1 level each year, progressing through their system. As Inciarte is up with 2 down in the 5th. Smacks that one right off the glove of McBride at first. Anaheim throws him out, says Alfonso Marquez. Hold on, here comes Kirk Gibson.
Well, this is the byproduct of all those fake bunts. It's a scalding shot down to McBride, who could only defend himself. Ooh, it looked like he was safe on that replay. And McBride was drawn in to protect against another possible bunt from Inciarte, and he just hit a screamer right at the Rockies' first baseman, and in self-defense he just deflected it over to second base.
They will put the headsets on and challenge. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, comes over from third. Marquez, who had the call at first, is over there as well, and they will challenge the out call at first. This is a Diamondback challenge.
We've got the reaction from the fans here at Chase Field. They just saw the replay on the big board, and they agree with us. They feel like Inciarte was safe at first.
Alfonso Marquez has made a couple of excellent calls down there, a couple of close plays at first base earlier in the ball game that he got right, no question. This one is awfully close.
I would imagine for a base umpire, it's hard not to get involved with the play. I mean, that you could see it unfolding. A rocket hit right at McBride, deflected over to second base. You could feel the excitement building in the ballpark as Inciarte was sprinting down that first base line. Maybe Marquez just got caught up in the moment right there and thought what a great play that would be if he rings up Inciarte at first base. But I think on replay shows that he beat him.
And in terms of the need for replay or how it has worked so far, we are approaching on the season in the major leagues 500 overturned calls. We're about a dozen away from 500 incorrect calls being overturned on the field. And if you don't think there was a need for replay, just look at that number. And for the most part, the system has worked out very well. This one has taken a little bit to look at in New York. This is our best angle, we're told, from our crew in the truck. Remember, it's a catch when the ball was in the back of the mitt, the pocket. And if that's the case, it looks like he may have beaten it down. Fred Barrett, the crew chief, the big guy right in the middle there, working third base tonight. Looks like the result is in from New York. He is out at first. The call on the field stands, which means there was no clear and convincing evidence. Certainly not enough to overturn the call. So that's the inning. Matzek has now retired 7 straight and leads it 1-0. Tyler Matzek will lead off the 6th against Vidal Nuno, who has retired 11 straight Rockies but trails at 1-0. Matt McBride, a solo homer, his second of the season, back in the second inning, the only run of the game so far. Each team has 2 hits. Matzek, Blackman, Stubbs 9-1-2 in the Colorado 6th. D-backs 8-5 versus the Rockies this season. They have won 7 of their last 8 games versus Colorado. But trailing this one, here's a bouncer to second. Aaron Hill, alumni nights, and my partner Bob Brenly had the honor of throwing out our ceremonial first pitch. We thought that BB might try and throw it up here in the broadcast booth, which, as you can see from that shot right there, would be a tremendous throw. There it is. He kind of waved us off. Now, the reason we thought you might do that was because you have a track record of just heaving baseballs into the seats. This is back from your managerial days.
I think what Bob is
with
saying
Tim
here,
McClellan, and there it goes.
I know Barry Bonds is up there.
What happened there?
Well,
I mean, that thing is 50 rows up in the stands.
I was having a rough night.
Or McClellan was, one or the other.
A combination of the two. Barry had gone deep earlier in the ball game, and that was a stage of his career where it just seemed like umpires refused to call strikes on Barry. Either he swung at it or it was a ball. And Barry drew a 4-pitch walk, and I thought 3 of them were in the strike zone, and went out to the mound to make a pitching change and waited and waited and waited for Tim McClellan to come out there and speed things up, and he wouldn't come out to the mound. So I yelled at him. He was standing over in the
What'd you yell?
Well, you're scared to come out here, aren't you? And he threw me out of the game, and I threw the ball up in the stands, and subsequently got a suspension and had to sit in the office down in San Diego for a couple days watching the team play.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. Absolutely. It made me feel good at the moment.
We'll take one more look at that historic opening pitch. So based on that, we thought we might see a repeat here tonight. We had an orthopedic surgeon standing by, but this was BB back in the day. Upset with Tim McClellan. Here's the ejection, and here's the throw. I bet that's awkward right there.
Well, at that point, you can say anything you want.
And you did.
Yes, I did.
Two stubs.
And I had every intention of giving it an effort, at least trying to throw the ball up here in the booth. But I'm telling you, when you stand out there on the mound, this looks like you're throwing it to Mesa. I mean, it's a long throw, and I haven't thrown a baseball in anger in a long time. So,
well, we had a target here. I don't know if we can get a shot of this on our RoboCam. We had this target all lined up for you.
Yeah, I saw it. Believe me, I saw it, but it just looked so far away. I said, this is ridiculous. I'm going to embarrass myself if I try to throw it up there. It was all I could do to get it to Sherlock in the air. Maybe next year. I'll get in shape. I'll work out with the guys over at Salt River a few days, get my arm in shape, and maybe actually practice it.
Well, last night we saw Josh Coleman to retire 18 straight Rockies. Tonight, Nuno has set down 14 in a row. The wave off from BB. And a strike to Sherles. 1-0 Rockies. Answer's 4th annual star-studded telecast. You can catch the fundraiser featuring music performances and stars from film, TV, and sports in a momentous and inspiring stand against cancer. The program comes your way September 5th at 5 o'clock on Fox Sports 2. Well, the Del Nuno is at it again. He has retired 14 straight Colorado Rockies, but he's not getting any run support and trails it 1-0 as we open up the Arizona 6th. Rookie Tyler Matzik so far working on a 2-hit shutout. He'll work to Cliff Pennington, David Peralta, and Mark Trumbo. 2, 3, and 4. Pennington has walked, stolen a base, and grounded out. 0 for 1. Del Nuno is dialed in. He hung one breaking ball that Matt McBride hit out of here into the Diamondback bullpen with 1 out in the 2nd inning. And that has been the last Rocky base runner. He set down 14 straight since.
Well, we've talked about El Nuno's tough luck so far this season as a member of the Diamondbacks. You ought to be allowed to make one mistake in a ball game.
Working without a net out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect the guy to be perfect every time out there.
They have scored a total of 27 runs in the 9 games Nuno has started. And it's a good start for Penny. A base hit into left. Leadoff man aboard.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks victory, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Well, the Diamondbacks getting their 3rd look now at Tyler Matzik, the rookie left-hander. Pennington singles to lead off the 6th. There's Peralta, who had a base hit his last time up. 1 for 2. Well, it seems like Cliff Pennington has been on base ever since he got back from the DL.
He just looks like a completely different hitter, seeing the ball so well. Those walks have gone up. When he does see a pitch in the strike zone, putting a good swing on it from both sides of the plate.
Well, it was when he was the 2nd batter in the 6th inning last night that Peralta drilled his 8th triple of the year. Made it to the gap in right center field. And here he is again in the 6th with Pennington aboard to lead off the inning. David Peralta did not start Wednesday's game against left-hander Clayton Kershaw. Gonzo was in the booth with us, and he said it might be nice to see Peralta get some experience in that situation, facing a tough left-hander that he'll be seeing of, we presume. He's seeing a lot of them in the years to come, but Peralta in there tonight against the rookie lefty Matzik. David has not hit left-handers this year, just a .203 average, about 70 plate appearances.
I would tend to agree with that, especially the way the season has gone for the Diamondbacks and what they're attempting to do here the rest of the season, get a good look at the future. Why not run some of these lefties out there against some of the guys they're going to have to battle against in the future?
Got Inciarte, Montero, Peralta, Lamb, all in the lineup tonight. Left-hand hitters against Matzik. Didi Gregorius getting the night off. Peralta stays alive. David has hit safely in 11 of his last 14 games. During that span, he's hit 3 triples and homered twice. And the throwback purple and teal on alumni night here at Chase Field. Keep an eye on Pennington over there, who stole a base after walking back in the 1st. Double play ball here. Rutledge, McBride, they roll it. 2 down.
A nice effort by Peralta. Even with 2 strikes, he was trying to hook a ball through that hole on the right side of the infield. Unfortunately, it goes right to the second baseman, LeMahieu, who initiates that double play.
Base is empty. 2 down for Mark Trumbo, who has walked and flied out 0 for 1. Mark last 30 games hitting just under 290. 17 RBIs over that span. Got that golf club grip on the bottom of that bat. No tape, no stickum.
Certainly a lot of the youth players out there that use aluminum bats are familiar with those handles. We've talked about it before. It's a kind of a rubberized, tacky feel underneath the batting gloves. Gives you a really good grip on an aluminum bat. I would assume it would do the same thing on a wood bat. Maybe even deaden some of the vibrations if you mishit a ball.
Three balls and a strike. Tyler Matzik so far has allowed only 3 hits, all singles, through 5 2/3.
Tyler Matzik slider. He'll throw it ahead in the count, throws it behind in the count. As I mentioned, he'll throw it to righties and lefties.
That one was up too. And he strikes out Trumbo to end the 6th. We are through 6. D-backs trail the Rockies 1-0. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. The man with the first hit in D-backs history. The question is, where's the baseball? He can't find it. We'll talk to Travis Lee.
In the brand new Arizona Diamondbacks history, and this young man, Travis Lee, the first D-back, got the first ever base hit in franchise history. You're joined by your family. There's one other runner around here somewhere, but when I take you back to that night and that event, what comes to your mind?
Pretty much shock, you know. Like I said earlier, I was just so nervous batting in front of Matt Williams, you know, the guy I used to watch play, and just that first pitch off Darryl Kyle up the middle, it was unbelievable feeling.
You're living in San Diego now. Introduce the group here.
This is Dane, my oldest. He's 9. I got my little girl's going to turn 7 next month, and my twin boys, Hudson and Bronson, they're 5. So
this has been you busy.
Oh man, longest summer of my life. I thought 162 games were long. No, summer home with these 4 was long.
You're back in school now, though, correct?
That was the greatest day ever. This past Monday. So I got back in school, and now it gives mom and me a little break. But it's a joy. I'm glad to be a father.
When you come back and you see this arena and you see what the D-backs have become, and you were a big part of the start of that, how does that make you feel?
You know what? The older I get, the more I appreciate it. You know, like I said earlier, when I was 22 at the time, I took everything kind of for granted. I thought it was never going to end. And now that I'm 39, I look back on the things that I did, and it's a great achievement that I had.
We'll have fun in the game coming up a little bit. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm already sore from batting practice earlier. It's going to be fun.
Great to have Travis back in the house. Guys, back to you.
Heard Travis on the radio on 98.7 FM with Burns and Gambo. He says he's got the baseball from the first hit in the history of the franchise. He's just not sure where it is. It's lost.
Well, with 3 boys over there, it's probably down a sewer pipe somewhere by now.
He says he is a professional Mr. Mon these days, and it looks like he's got his hands full.
And not only did Travis Lee get the first hit in the history of this organization, he was involved in probably the biggest trade in the history of the organization to get Curt Schilling from the Phillies over here to the Diamondbacks.
That one worked out all right.
Yeah.
Travis said he hated playing at the Vet. He was at the Vet,
Ooh.
which was just a pit. So he went from this beautiful ballpark to Veterans Stadium. Nuno at 90 pitches, 65 for strikes. He has retired 15 straight since the McBride homer with 1 out in the second. There's some Diamondback first. Travis Lee, the first hit and the first homer in that game against these Rockies. Matt Williams, Nationals manager, first grand slam about 2 weeks later. Travis Lee also has the first stolen base. Fly ball out there to left field. Nolan Reimold at his D-backs debut. If they don't get a couple of runs here for Fidel Nuno, it's going to be a shame, because he is pitching for the 3rd straight ball game now. Absolutely terrific ball game.
I mean, really, he's made one mistake in the ball game. The hanging breaking ball that he threw to McBride back in that second inning. He banged it out of here to left field. Other than that, he has been absolutely on top of his game. And as I mentioned an inning ago, you should be able to make one mistake and still win a game.
This one's got to stay in the yard. It looks like it will. It's in the left field corner for Reimold. And McHenry flies out. That 17 straight retired by Nuno. One night after Comenter set down 18 in a row. Chase Field, Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. Pitching. What a pitching matchup this has been between Matzek and Nuno, and so it's fitting that Brandon Webb is here in the booth. How about Comenter last night, 18 in a row. Nuno tonight, 17 straight.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's been looking good. He's been pitching good, pretty much all year. Just hadn't had a win to show for it, but he's dropping that ERA down. Hopefully get him a couple runs and get him his first win.
Now, what is your role tonight? This jersey looks fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, they brought this from 06 All-Star game.
That's the genuine article.
Yeah, this is it right here. They had it downstairs, so pretty cool. Now, my role is I'm going to be in the bullpen, shuffling those guys in and out, making sure they're ready to go.
I noticed some of the best players we have are bowing out of this thing.
Smart
Those
guys.
are the smart ones, huh?
Smart guys.
Exactly.
I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, I threw a couple today, you know, me and Doug Davis. So
that was it?
Yeah, I mean, I could toss it up there. I don't want to. I mean, literally, I would embarrass myself out there.
Miguel Montero for 2. Now, have you had a chance to catch up with some of the boys?
Yeah, I just came from up in the suite there, so everybody's up there getting their food and sodas and stuff, and
just sodas though.
Yeah, getting loose for the game.
Yeah, right. Okay. McBride, the backhand stop. Montero is retired to open up the 7th. There they are.
Armando probably going over the opposing lineup. I'm going to start him with a sinker, and then I'm going to throw the big slow curve, and if I get ahead, I'm going to throw him a high 4-seamer.
Now, how is it with pitchers? I know every guy's different, obviously, but if you're a pitcher, will you still every once in a while get out there and throw a few in the backyard or something?
Well, for me, I haven't done that yet. I play catch with the kid a little bit, but I can't really let it go. Even if I could, he's only 5, but
one of those heavy sinkers into the 5-year-old.
Yeah.
There you go. This was earlier today.
Yeah, there's my buddy Austin. Only get one. Yeah, we had a good time out there. It's fun to be able, because he didn't get to enjoy it whenever I was playing. So it's nice to be able to in these situations, be able to bring him out and let him experience these things.
See, he wanted an extra baseball because he knew you were going to throw a wild
away.
pitch.
Exactly.
Well, Webby, you had a really nice run there for 4 years. You led the majors in wins, tied for 6th in games started, and tied for 4th with quality starts. That's a pretty nice run for 4 years.
Yeah, I had a nice little thing going, so it was. I got to experience a lot whenever I got to play. I didn't play as long as I wanted to, obviously, but got to do a lot of things that was pretty special.
I don't think people realize, I mean, some people probably do, but physically how tough it is to play this game. Obviously, the mental aspect of it at this level is key, but pitching through injuries and pitching through little minor things that cause other things to get out of whack, and then that causes something else to get out of whack, and just the ability to grind through a long season physically is a lot tougher than I think a lot of people would realize.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like you said, you compensate. You get a little injury, you're going to compensate somewhere else, and you're starting to tweak a place that that wasn't even hurting before. But that's what it is. It's a total grind throughout this 162 game season, and it's tough. It's tough on the body, and doing it year after year, and trying to get through there is tough for some guys.
I mean, we were talking last night about Brad Ziegler. Brad has been one of the most consistent relievers, one of the workhorses in baseball over the course of his career. Got hit with that line drive in the chest against the Tigers. Didn't take a day off, didn't go on the disabled list. I'm sure he got a lot of treatments, just continued to try to pitch through it and lost some of his effectiveness because of it.
Right.
Now, he certainly wouldn't use that as an excuse, but that's just an example of how a guy with an injury that probably should have put him on the bench for a week or two just to allow that thing to heal, but he just continued to do his job like a true professional, and his numbers may suffer for it a little bit, but certainly earned the respect of his teammates and opponents.
Yeah, that's the thing, professional athletes, you never want to be taken out of the game no matter how bad you're hurt. You want to go out there and compete, and that's what we grew up doing, and it's what we're paid to do, and we don't ever want to come out of the game if at all possible.
Matzek's at 95 pitches right now, 59 for strikes, so 1 out walk to Hill. And he misses there to Jake Lamb, who's ahead 2-1. It's a long season. We were talking about Sydney, Australia before the ball game, and BB said that seems like it was 10 years ago.
It does.
A long haul. Trying to get at least 1 run here for Nuno. Looks at strike 2.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show, whenever Matzek gets in a little bit of a jam, he's going to go to that slider more and more often. That's his go-to pitch. He's got ultimate confidence. He can throw it for a strike when he wants. He can bounce it in the dirt when he wants.
Jake Lamb getting his 3rd look at this rookie lefty Tyler Matzek. So far he has struck out and grounded out 0 for 2. It's full. Rockies bullpen is, well, looks like it's some stirring down there. Brown starting to throw, the right-hander. Brooks Brown. Out of play. Well, Webby, I know you got a lot going on here, so I really feel a little guilty, frankly, putting you to work, but that's the gig. And it's time to see what you've selected for our AT&T fan photo on Alumni Day, and there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Absolutely. Look at that. That's quality. That's top. I think that's top tier, best one of the year.
That is.
Huh?
That is.
Come on now.
That's outstanding work. It really is.
Thank you. Look at that.
You have really bounced back nicely. Whereas the middle of the season.
Yeah, I had a little.
But
little
lately,
rough patch.
really good.
Absolutely.
So thanks to all of you who tweeted in your fan photo, brought to you by AT&T.
The varmint picture really threw the train off the track there for a while.
That was months and months ago. We've long forgotten about that.
It was like a bad start that he just wants to put behind it.
Yeah, one of those ones where you like get one out in the first and 6 runs scored, and we have to take you out with the bases loaded. That was the varmint.
That actually led, I think, to the establishment of the no varmints rule.
I believe so.
3-2 to Lamb. And keep Aaron Hill close over there. Matzik at 100 pitches, 62 strikes. Right field. Charlie Blackmon right to him. Aaron Hill scampers back. Allowed out number 2. Pretty good at bat there by Jake Lamb. Fouled off a couple of pitches and hit one hard out to right, then right to the right fielder Blackmon, and now it's Nolan Reimold. Reimold singled on the first pitch he saw as a D-back in the second and struck out his last time up. Just acquired on waivers from the Toronto Blue Jays. Started the year with the Baltimore Orioles. Pitcher spot is due up next. And Jordan Pacheco, the former Rockies, in the on-deck circle.
Well, this is something that historically has been an issue for me with the Rockies. Watch how long it takes Michael McHenry to get the sign from his own bench. We saw it with William Rosario last year, and I thought it was Rosario having issues getting the signs from the coaching staff, but I think the coaches over there on that first base side are just a little slow sending the signs out to the catcher.
Tom Runnels, the bench coach there, number 11. Walt Weiss, the manager. And Mike McHenry looking in. There's Runnels with the pitch call.
I mean, there's a certain flow and rhythm to the game, especially when your pitcher's throwing the ball well. You want to get him back up on that bump, ready to throw again.
This is bounced to third. Arenado, the Gold Glover, makes a nice play and throws him out. This was the no varmint picture that Brandon Webb will never, ever be able to live down. Nice work, Webby. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, guys.
Enjoy Alumni Night.
Thank you.
Our APS Energy All-Stars, the two starting pitchers, both left-handers. Rookie Tyler Matzik so far working on a 3-hit shutout through 7, while Vidal Nuno has retired a career-high 17 in a row. The Rockies have not had a base runner since Matt McBride's one-out home run, a solo shot in the 2nd inning, which is still the only run of the game so far for either side, and it's McBride who will lead off the 8th. Nuno's previous career high was a 13 straight retire. That was in May with the New York Yankees at Anaheim against the Angels. 17 straight as he opens up the 8th. This was Matt McBride in the 2nd, got a hanger from Nuno.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the few mistakes he's made in this ball game, but he made it to the wrong guy. McBride with big power to left field and hits that one out over the bullpen in left.
.95 pitches for Nuno, 70 for strikes. Matt McBride from Bethlehem, PA, played collegiately at Lehigh. And he chases a high one for the strikeout. That's 7 strikeouts for Nuno, 1 down in the 8th. Well, you can't pitch any better than Vidal Nuno has pitched the last 3 games. Nuno very well in his previous 2 starts. 7 innings of 5-hit ball at Washington, struck out 7. 6 2/3 of shutout ball until Wilson Ramos' 7th inning homer. He appeared to finally be in line for his first D-backs win. His last time out, that was last Saturday against the Padres here at Chase Field. 7 1/3 scoreless, but left the bases loaded, got a no decision. In a game the D-backs came back to win in the home half of that inning, the first time they had won a Nuno start all year. And as you can see here, losing a 1-0 game, 8 total runs scored in his last 4 starts.
And the one for me that was particularly impressive was the start against the Nationals. You may recall that was a red-hot offensive ball club when we rolled into the nation's capital, and Nuno held him in check through 7 innings, gave up only the 5 base hits.
Oh, flare to center field that Inciarte has, and now Nuno, after watching Josh Colmenter retire 18 straight Rockies last night, has now retired 19 in a row here tonight.
Well, if you're a fan of good old-fashioned pitchers duels, you've had your dream matchup the last 2 nights. Colmenter and Bergman last night locking horns, and tonight Nuno and Matzik doing the same.
Of course, Colmenter came out of the game after only 81 pitches. He had retired 18 straight, gave up a bunt single to Drew Stubbs with 1 out in the 7th and got the hook. Bouncer to 3rd, long throw for Lamb. And Mark Trumbo has it. 20 straight Rockies retired by Vidal Nuno. 20 in a row, but he trails it 1-0. On sale right now. You can guarantee the best seats at the lowest prices when you become a D-backs season ticket holder. You'll enjoy unique benefits, access to exclusive special events, flexible 12-month payment plans, and a whole lot more. Get more information online at dbacks.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Chase Field in 2015. Jordan Pacheco announced as a pinch hitter for Vidal Nuno, who has retired 20 in a row, but trails at 1-0. And as soon as Pacheco is announced, Walt Weiss goes out there to get his rookie left-hander. Tyler Matzik will leave, and a new pitcher is on the way in. Back after this. Arizona is brought to you in part by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox. Bob Brenly bobblehead night, alumni night here at Chase Field. A real pitcher's duel. Vidal Nuno has retired 20 straight Rockies after giving up a solo homer in the second inning. He will be pinch hit for here in the eighth. Jordan Pacheco, the former Rocky, will lead it off. Tyler Matzik, working on a 3-hit shutout, has just been pulled from the game, and on in relief is right-hander Brooks Brown. 31 appearances with AAA this year. Colorado Springs, a 4.35 ERA. His ERA in the big league slightly higher than that, his 17th major league appearance. Pacheco, 4 hits in his last 28 at-bats, looks at ball one. Ted Williams' birthday today. The splendid splinter, the kid, the greatest hitter of all time. And on Ted Williams' birthday, Diamondbacks got to find some offense. Try to get it here in this 8th inning to put Nuno in line for the win. There's the strike, 1-1. Pacheco has hit just over .210 in 29 games since he joined the D-backs from the Rockies, but has made only 11 starts in that span. Played sparingly at best.
I would imagine the Diamondbacks leaned heavily on Jordan Pacheco in their advance meeting before this series with the Rockies. Obviously, the guy's been behind the plate. He's seen most of these pitchers, if not all of these pitchers on the Rockies staff. Knows the strengths and weaknesses of his former teammates offensively.
High strike call there from Paul Schreiber. It's 2-2. Diamondbacks with a Reimold single in the second, a Peralta single in the third, and a Pennington single in the sixth. That's been it. In the air, left center field. Dickerson got a late break, but he's got it in the gap for the first out. Nuno, on the other hand, has given up only 2 hits, an Arenado single in the first, the McBride homer in the second, and that's been it. He has retired the last 20 he's faced. And this would be the hardest of hard luck losses for him to this point if the Diamondbacks can't get a run across. Walt Weiss is back out there, ready to match up with left-hand hitting Ender Inciarte coming up. And another pitcher is on their way in for the Rockies. Back after this.
During any Diamondbacks regular season home game, tonight's contestant got to take home an A.J. Pollock autographed Kachinko game piece.
Diamondbacks trying to put their signature on a run here for Vidal Nuno. They trail it 1-0 with 1 out in the 8th, and the new pitcher for the Rockies, the left-hander Christian Friedrich. We saw him in last night's ball game. Came on in the 6th inning. Faced 5 batters, retired all 5 he faced, including a couple of strikeouts. Ender Inciarte, top of the order up for the D-backs. Ender so far 0 for 3. Shows bunts. Bride comes in from the corner. Not sure that he made contact, but Ted Barrett says that he went around. And letting him have it from the D-back dugout. Said he offered. Inciarte down 0-2 now. Hitting over 300 this month. Ender has had an excellent month of August. In fact, among Diamondback rookies, only Travis Lee and Gerardo Parra have had more hits in a single month. Center field, base hit. Tying runs aboard with 1 out. Stubbs bobbled it out there, but it didn't carry far enough away for Inciarte to advance. Trying to get a run for Nuno here.
Nice hitting right there by Ender Inciarte. Really let that curveball travel, get deep into the hitting zone, and just flips it out there into center field.
He just continues to improve. There has been no plateau. He keeps getting better, especially in that leadoff role. A 1 out race runner for Cliff Pennington. Pennington has walked and singled tonight. He's also stolen a base. You're running Inciarte here.
I think at some point, preferably early in the count,
just to get the most opportunity to drive him home from second.
You give Cliff Pennington a chance to drive him in from second base, or at least advance him on to third for David Peralta. Not always easy with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, and certainly Ender Inciarte just learning all these guys this season, getting to know their moves.
There goes Ender.
Nice.
McHenry can't find it, and Inciarte's in scoring position. Mike McHenry had the baseball right at his feet, but could not see it. It's a wild pitch.
Looked like a pretty good read over there by Ender as well. He saw the ball in the dirt, even though McHenry blocked it up right in the middle of the chest protector, and the ball stayed right there. Inciarte takes off, sees that ball's going to be in the dirt, knows it's very tough to block and recover and make a strong throw. Easily advances into second base.
And now Pennington is ahead 2-0. Right back, it's off the mitt of Friedrich. They'll have no play. He knocked it down, and it rolled almost all the way out to left field.
Inciarte had thoughts about advancing on to third base. He sees that ball over there on the left side of the infield, took a quick peek over his shoulder to see where the shortstop was, and decides it's not worth the risk. I'm already in scoring position here. Don't want to run into an out at third base. Diamondbacks setting the table here for David Peralta, followed by Mark Trumbo.
That is an error on the pitcher, Friedrich. The comebacker hit right to him. And there was a wild bob very early on where Inciarte might have broke for third on that play and got himself thrown out.
Yep. Just better instincts, better reads.
2 on, 1 out for David Peralta. A single in the third. He hit into a double play his last time up. Inciarte, the tying run at second. Pennington, the go-ahead run at first. Friedrich, who retired all 5 he faced last night, has yet to retire a batter here so far tonight.
And this is a number the Diamondbacks would really like to improve upon. In the month of August, they're hitting 198 as a team with runners in scoring position. Saw David in an RBI situation last night. Swing at a first pitch breaking ball in the dirt. Just a little overly aggressive. Everybody wants to drive in that big run, especially when the team is struggling to score runs. And David last night and again tonight expanding his zone a little bit in an RBI situation.
And he says he knows he's not a surprise anymore. Opposing teams know he can hit. He can hit the ball out of the park or in the gap. They don't want that, so the adjustment continues. And you've seen right there a lot more off speed and breaking pitches.
I think David has proven to the league and the world he can hit a fastball. He's going to have to prove to other teams and other pitching staffs that he can handle other pitches or lay off. You know, that's the thing. He hasn't seen a strike in this at bat, but finds himself behind 1 and 2.
Got to lay off some of that junk and get his pitch. Peralta strikes out, 2 down. I think he might have got himself out in that at bat.
You see the location. Friedrich breaking pitches and fastballs both blowing away out of the zone.
Well, we're going to get our third Rocky reliever in this half inning with the right hand hitting Mark Trumbo coming up. Allweiss is going to go get the lefty Friedrich. Adam Ottavino on his way in. He, of course, gave up the grand slam last night. Diamondback have 2 on and 2 out. history-making moment. It's MLB Whip Around, weeknights at 7 on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, if you count Tyler Matzik, who was out there on the mound to open up this inning but did not throw a pitch. The fourth Rocky pitcher is out there in this 8th. As Vidal Nuno, who has retired the last 20 he faced, now out of the ballgame. And watches the Diamondbacks try and get him off the hook for the loss. It's Adam Ottavino who served up the Jake Lamb grand slam. The Lamb Slam last night, or the Grand Lamb, or the whole thing. I haven't figured out which one is best yet.
Yeah.
You like Lamb Slam or Grand Lamb?
I kind of like Lamb Slam myself.
Yeah, I'm with you. Mark Trumbo. Slow roller, Arenado! Gold Glover throws him out, and the Diamondbacks strand 2. Trumbo up there, first pitch swinging. A little number, but Nolan Arenado is there at third to pounce on it. And in the inning, we go to the 9th. D-backs trailing 1-0. Decisions for Vidal Nuno, none more so than tonight. A look at our Gila River game summary. Nuno gave up only 2 hits. An Arenado single in the first, a McBride solo homer in the second. That's been the game's only run. Since the home run, Nuno retired 20 in a row. He was pinch hit for in the bottom of the 8th, and now rookie Matt Stites is out there to open up the 9th.
Well, how about this, partner? The team record for the Diamondbacks this year, when either Brandon McCarthy or Vidal Nuno started the ball game, 5-22.
And they both traded for each other.
Yeah, you know, Brandon had a couple of stinkers early in the season, and Nuno's had one that wasn't so good, but you can't say it was because they pitched poorly. The team just didn't support them defensively and offensively when those two guys have taken the mound this year.
Last D-back pitcher to retire at least 20 consecutive batters in a game was Doug Davis, who's pitching here tonight for Team Gonzalez in the alumni game. Doug Davis retired 20 straight in July of 2008 at San Diego. Nuno tonight 20 in a row, but he's on the hook right now, trailing 1-0 as Brandon Barnes will hit for the pitcher to lead off the Rocky 9th. Laced into the seats, 0-1. Barnes had a pinch hit single in the 8th inning last night. Just his 5th hit in his last 31 at bats. Rockies have their closer, the veteran LaTroy Hawkins, warming up in the bullpen. And hard, but short to Pennington. Hey fans, Labor Day sale, save 50%. Get MLB.com at bat premium features for only $4.99. You can follow every D-backs game with live look-ins, replay reviews, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store. Sale ends soon, so visit dbacks.com/mobile today. Leadoff man Charlie Blackmon is in there. He's 0 for 3. This ball is well hit, high and deep, out to the pool and gone. It's in the pool. Charlie Blackmon. Just 4 extra base hits all month, but he hits his 16th homer of the year, and it's 2-0 Colorado. That's just Blackmon's 4th home run away from Coors Field this season.
Just a center cut fastball that time from Stites. I mentioned earlier the Rockies put on quite a show in batting practice today, and Charlie Blackmon was among the Rockies hitters that was blasting him out of here in that area of the ballpark.
And there's the splashdown. Charlie Blackmon. Drew Stubbs. So it's 2-0 Rockies. Just the 3rd hit tonight for Colorado, but 2 of them solo homers. Stubbs is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Matt Stites got to shake that off and keep it 2-0. Diamondbacks in the 9th. We'll have Miguel Montero, Aaron Hill, and Jake Lamb 5, 6, and 7, likely against LaTroy Hawkins, who's been warming up in the Rocky bullpen. There is the Hawk. Pennington backhands it short and throws him out. 2 down.
Yeah, that's a very nice play by Cliff Pennington. He knows Drew Stubbs can really get down that first base line, so rather than get his body in front of the ball and then have to get his momentum going across the diamond to first, he plays it on the backhand side. That allows him to get his body turned into a throwing position. All he's got to do is pick it up, and he's ready to fire that ball onto Trumbo for the out.
Knowing that Stubbs can really get up the line with good speed. Nolan Arenado singled in the first, 1 for 3. Tell you what, this guy, after winning the Gold Glove last year as a rookie third baseman, now this year only 23 years old. What a player he's going to be. Or already is. This is well hit to right center field, entering Cincinnati. Has it at the track, and that's the inning. But Blackmon hits his 16th. Rockies add 1 more. Diamondbacks go to the bottom of the 9th. They trail it 2-0. to Bob Brenly. We asked him to throw it up to the broadcast booth. And there's the wave off. Nope, not going to do it. And he fires a strike to Glenn Sherlock, our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. You kept your cool.
I tried to.
A lot of peer pressure on you to throw it up here. But you held firm and delivered a strike.
Well, Sherrill said, what are you going to do? Are you going to throw a strike? Are you going to throw it hard? I said, well, the guys want me to throw it upstairs. He says, go for it.
Even down to the last man, we all wanted to see it. But a job well done, certainly. And now it's up to the Diamondback offense here in the home half of the ninth to get at least 2 runs and get Fidel Nuno off the hook. 48th appearance for the veteran LaTroy Hawkins. The Rockies closer. Sole possession of 16th place on baseball's all-time games pitch list. This guy has pitched a lifetime and then some.
He is an amazing physical specimen, continuing to throw the ball hard. His first year in the major leagues in 2002 with the Twins, his average fastball was 92.6. This year it's 93.1. Still throwing hard, still has a good hard slider, an occasional curveball, and he will do that quick pitch delivery from time to time where he doesn't get into a set position in his stretch, just gets a sign from his catcher and fires it home.
Montero, Hill, Lamb, 5, 6, and 7 in the Arizona ninth. Quick pitches right out of the gate. Miggy fouls it back. Montero 0 for 3. D-backs have out hit the Rockies 4-3, but trail it 2-0. Home runs by Matt McBride in the second and Charlie Blackmon in the ninth.
Barring some kind of an injury, LaTroy Hawkins will reach the 1,000 appearance mark sometime later this season. 991st appearance. He was one of those guys that kind of got hung with a reputation early in the middle part of his career as a good setup guy, 7th, 8th inning guy, but couldn't close. Well, he seems to have found a home here in Colorado where it's not easy to close ball games. Working those seams. We've seen him do that every time we face the Rockies this year. Gets a brand new ball back from the umpire and immediately goes to work trying to raise those seams.
3-2 on Miguel Montero.
Just got a new ball back from the home plate umpire Paul Schreiber. Fix the dirt out in front of the mound a little bit. Eventually he's going to take that glove off and go to work on that baseball.
th all-time in games pitched, right behind Goose Gossage. Iggy chases a high one and strikes out.
I'm not saying this was definitely a fact, but this is that abbreviated delivery once again. I think occasionally it gets a hitter in an abbreviated swing mode, and that time Miggy chased one way out of the zone.
One away for Aaron Hill. Aaron walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Some of the names just ahead of LaTroy Hawkins on the all-time list: Goose Gossage, Roberto Hernandez, Lee Smith, Jose Mason, Trevor Hoffman, Kent DeColvey. Former Diamondback Dan Plesac.
Jesse Orozco holds the mark, the long-time left-hander, most appearances. Over 1,200 most relief appearances. I stand corrected.
0-2 on Aaron Hill. Diamondbacks one more on this homestand against the Rockies tomorrow. And then it's on the road. 4 at San Diego starting on Monday. Day game on Labor Day. And 3 over the weekend at Dodger Stadium. Off day next Monday. 3 at San Francisco. Long road trip. Two and two.
We were talking about that with Webby earlier in the ball game. Those little dings and bumps and bruises and scrapes and scratches that just seem to add up over the course of the season. Aaron already wearing a protective guard on that left ankle and bangs one right off of the same spot.
Oh. To second. Nice high hop for LeMahieu. 2 down. Well, Jake Lamb was the hitting hero last night late in the ball game, and he's the last man standing on Alumni Night. Yeah, struck out, grounded out, and flied out 0 for 3. Not a good at bat as last time up. Lined one right to Blackman in right field as Hawkins quick pitches again. It's 0-1. Diamondbacks only 4 hits. They have left 7 on base. Fidel Nuno. What a ball game he pitched. 8 innings of 2-hit ball. Retired the last 20 he faced. But he's on the hook for the loss. Diamondbacks last night, thanks in no small part to Jake Lamb's grand slam. 5 runs on only 3 hits. So far tonight, no runs on just 4 hits. And a tough no decision for Josh Colmenter last night. An even tougher loss for Fidel Nuno if this final score stands. He did not go, says Ted Barrett at third. It's 3-2. This is a spot where we've seen Jake Lamb before chase a high fastball for the punch out. Looks. Good take there by Jake Lamb, and the Diamondbacks are still breathing here. They'll get the tying run to the plate with 2 outs in the 9th. It's Nolan Reimold.
Well, that's a tough take right there by Jake Lamb. A little tailing fastball, starts off the plate inside, never did get back to that inside corner.
Well, the Rockies have had only 1 shutout all year long. That was April 12th at San Francisco. Hawkins and out away from closing out what would be their 2nd shutout, but the Diamondbacks have the tying run at the plate, 2 down in the 9th. base hit into right. Reimold's got his second D-back hit. And now the winning run will come to the plate. Both hits tonight for Nolan Reimold, jumping on the first pitch.
Attacks a fastball on that outer third of the plate, takes advantage of that huge hole on the right side of the infield. Gets the tying run on base and will bring the winning run to the plate.
In the person of Didi Gregorius, who will hit for the pitcher. Didi 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts last night against the Rockies. That snapped a 4-game hitting streak. He's at .212 on the year and 6 homers. Tying runs aboard, winning run at the plate. Jake Lamb, the runner at second. Nolan Reimold at first. That has slowed in August, hitting under 150 for the month. Rally caps in place. Ball and a strike.
Trying to stay out of that down and out over the plate area, throwing fastballs in and fastballs up to Didi Gregorius.
Got him, and the Rockies win the ball game 2-0. Diamondbacks with 5 hits, but they strand 9 base runners, and Vidal Nuno, who gave up only 2 hits, retired the last 20 batters he faced in the ball game, somehow gets the loss.
That's a tough one. I'll tell you what, Diamondbacks have wasted a couple of really good pitching performances the last couple of days and just haven't been able to generate any offense other than the Jake Lamb home run late in the ball game yesterday against the worst pitching staffs in baseball. Got to find a way to start whacking that ball.
Last night, 5 runs for the D-backs on only 3 hits. They got the win. Tonight, no runs on just 5 hits. They get the tough luck loss for Nuno, and the Rockies get just their second shutout this season and their first since April 12th at San Francisco. So Colorado evens the series at a game apiece. They win this one 2-0. Let's send it over to Cindy Brunson.
Thanks so much. 22nd save of the season for LaTroy Hawkins as the Rockies are able to blank the Diamondbacks 2-0. We'll have plenty of reaction and analysis coming up for you here on the Diamondbacks Live postgame show presented by CenturyLink. We have tons to talk about, especially the alumni game that is just around the corner, minutes away, as the more than 27,000 fans here at Chase will get to sit back, relax, and enjoy that. What you need to know before that happens comes your way next on Diamondbacks Live.